Hey there and happy Thursday. So who are my fall fans? If you love fall, raise your hand. I love fall for so many reasons. One of it is the weather, like just the rustle of the leaves and the little breeze and the cooler temps and throwing on a sweatshirt or sweater, and football. I love football and everything. I love harvest and I participate in that very actively. So there's just so much to love about fall, at least for me. So I'm excited to bring you card number 2 for Deb King's virtual party. Here it is, and that says fall in so many different ways. So I'm going to show you a sneak peek of products from the mini catalog that are going to start September 6th. Is it? If that's Tuesday, I should know this, right? I'm excited, yes. So let me think. Is it the 5th? Oh my goodness, you guys. Let me look here. Let me look. I need to have correct information. Now I'm second guessing myself all of a sudden. All right, September 6th. Yes, it just didn't sound right when I said it. Hey there, Tori. So September 6th is when the mini starts. So I'm going to show you, if you want to grab a catalog, if you're looking on pages 42 and 43, Stampin' Up! Does not allow us to show the insides of the catalog until it goes live. So here I have this whole spread of products, which I can show you. I can show you samples. I just can't show you the inside of the catalog. So I'm going to show you all the pieces of this that's part of the new All About Autumn Suite collection. So let me get my camera turned around so I can start designing Deb's card number 2 for you guys. Here we go, like so. Get my camera going here. Right, so we've got Deb's host code there, and here is the card. A little bit up close there. So I'm going to be showing you all the pieces because I can't show you the catalog. I'm going to give you a sneak peek kind of all the pieces that make up this sweet collection. So of course the focal point is always the stamp set and the dies. So the stamp set has some great leaves, and then all of these kind of vein type images that can go in here if you want them to. You can stamp them, you can layer them with the dies and such too. Thank you, Tori. I just had so much fun putting this together. Like I said, if anybody knows me, like I could design autumn cards like 365 days of the year based on the colors and just everything that makes it feel warm. There's some really great sentiments in here too. I'm going to be using the one that says autumn teaches us that change can be beautiful. And there's just some thankful, grateful sayings in there. And then the dies to coordinate, a big package of dies. So I'm going to be using a couple of these leaves and a frame that has a fun edge on there, which I'll show once I use it. But the thing that I love about these leaves is the leaves I'm using, there's another one and there's another one. So they've given us double of these leaves, double of these leaves. Like I said, dies to cut out the main leaves, the veins for the leaves, and then some of this texture again. So a couple pieces of texture, if you like to just kind of put that on the back of your card. I almost thought about doing it today, but I did some stamping for additional kind of layering and depth on my card. But lots in here for dies, so that's always good to know. Autumn leaves dies, autumn leaves stamp set here. And I'm just going to set that there. So that's kind of the main part of it. And then here we go. These are so cute. These are the embellishments that go with it. They're speckled. They're called adhesive back speckled dots. And there is something that kind of, especially the ivory ones that almost look like those fancy chicken eggs that have speckles in them. And just like a sparkly speckle, but not something that's going to make it look cheesy. Like it makes it still look like fall. So that's part of the collection. I am using them today. Something that I'm not using today that's part of the collection is this gorgeous ribbon. So we've got that coppery look here, and then more of like the jute or something. And this is called, here we go, Copper and Natural Ribbon Combo Pack. Like, couldn't have said it better, right? That I am not using, like I said, today. Another thing that I'm using today is this gorgeous paper here. Don't mean to blind you, but it is really a fun thing. So, yeah, thank you, Tori. Like, I love those dots, too. Like, they were one of the first things I got. I already gave away some to a team member that was celebrating an anniversary and such. So, just a fun thing. So, with this 12 by 12 paper, called Oxidized Copper 12 by 12 specialty paper. You get 2 sheets of this design and then 2 sheets of this design. And then the back on all of them is white because, of course, you're going to focus on this. But just so gorgeous. I'll put that aside. I am using it on the card. I'll put it aside, like I said, so I don't blind you because it is pretty bright. Another piece that's part of the collection that I used, I think last week for you guys, was the Distress Tile 3D embossing folder. So that I did use. That's part of the collection as well. I'm not using it today. And oh gosh, how could I forget the paper? Okay, so this really steals the show. This is a 6x6 stack of like everything falls. So when you see like the nature scenes here, the sweater, I'm actually going to use the sweater. This is the piece that I'm using today for the card. And then we've got just some wood grain. And then like, how fun is this? Like when I go up north, I used to be able to go up north in the fall. Now just harvest takes over, but that's what it kind of looks like. And then we've got some blues in there, like it almost looks flannel. Like I feel like I should be able to touch that and feel that blanket feel. How cute are these pumpkins? Love those. And if you know me, I love my books. And here's the leaves. Love those. And how fun is like the leather? It almost looks like an ottoman or something like that. So I love that they put that in there for the feel and the texture of that. And then we've got more leaves here and another kind of close-up of a book. My sister has a gorgeous house and she has all these old books in a very old like stone and wooden setting that her in-laws built from scratch. And every time I see books like this is her house. And I just can't wait to go there Sunday because like I get to see that. And then the back sides all have like golds and foils embossed in there. So this kind of has a cream look and then like a mossy green look. And then this one, I don't know, for some reason almost reminds me of like a Christmas, but there again, like a tile look with copper in there, a lot of copper theme here going in with even the pinks. This I'm going to use today to cut out one of the pretty leaves. This I love too, this the pretty peacock with some foil in there, and there's like a pink version of that one tile look. And then we've got some more greens and pinks and this and this and this, but like I said, all of it has that tile look too. So I, right off the bat, bought 3 packages of this because I know I have these classes coming up, and of course Deb's party today, all about autumn. 6x6 is what that is called. So whenever it's a new time that I haven't even like shown you, then I was trying to go through all the pieces so you see that. So as I use that again, then I won't be as detailed. So now I'm ready to make the cards. So yeah, Tori, like, isn't that paper just amazing? And I know I have people that prefer 6x6 to 12 by 12 and vice versa. So I love that Stampin' Up! Gives us some choices on that. So like I said, this is going to kind of steal the show with that. So let me start building my my card. So the base today is a color I don't think I've used for you online yet, and it's that new copper clay color, and it's just so pretty for fall. And let me just get out a strip of Cajun Craze. For those, I know I have names that come to mind when it comes to Cajun Craze because some people love the Cajun Craze color. So you can see it is different. It coordinates well, but it is different. So if you get this out and go, I don't need that because I already have Cajun Craze, you might go, oh, maybe I need it also to go together, right? Okay, so we've got that. And then let me just pull out the couple of pieces I'm going to need for today's card, which is kind of this walk down the lane here. You can almost hear like the crunch of the leaves, like when I pull this out. And then that fun sweater. It could be a blanket too. I have a sweater that kind of looks like that. It's one of my favorites for fall. So what I'm going to do is get out my trimmer and trim these pieces down. So I want this to be 5.5, so it goes all the way to the bottom of the card here. So I'm just gonna trim off just like this 1/2-inch strip by 6. And that's just gonna get set aside for a different day to use maybe, or it could sit in my package for the end of its life because we aren't good at using up scraps all the time, right? So now I'm just gonna give this a twist because it's 5.5, and then I'm going to cut it in half at the 3-inch mark here, like so. So now I can make 2 cards basically out of this design. And then for that sweater, I'm going to also cut that in half. So I'm just going to go 3. And then I'm going to do a 2-inch section. I started off thinking like 1.5 would be good because I didn't want to cover up too much of this, but then I'll show you what the 1.5 looks like versus the 2-inch. It just makes a difference, and like, who doesn't want a pretty card, right? So if it makes a difference, it's going to get changed out. So let me just put this one aside, and then I should be ready to go. All right. So as I was laying this together, I love the color coordination. And what I think I'm going to do before I start building the card is add all the pieces to it so you can kind of see the plane and what a different stamping is going to make on the background for it. So let me open up my copper clay ink pad here. And the reason I knew I probably haven't used this card for you guys, I had to open up this ink pad, and that's not like the strangest thing to have bought it in May and just opening it now because it's such a fall color, and one that I probably won't use too much in May, June, July, and now it's August, so now I can. All right, so I'm just going to get out a piece of Very Vanilla and the stamp set here with my sentiment on it. And my stamps, my ink pad seems pretty juicy. So I'm just going to lightly tap that. And reminder, because I have classes in person coming up, you do not need to like go like that to ink your stamps. If I see anybody going like that at a class, I'll probably tap your hand, seriously. Like if you see, like this is all I do. And I'm going to put it close to my phone. Like listen to how gently I tap. Maybe you don't even hear that. And that's plenty of ink. That's all I did to do this. Especially a sentiment like this that's pretty fine lined. You definitely don't want to ink that up too much, or it's going to just be a blob and a blur, and you're going to get ink where you don't want it to. So we've got that, and I'm going to run this through my cut and emboss machine. So let me once again pull out those dies that I said I'd be using here. So I'm just going to put that, center that like so, and run that through. And I love it when they give us just some images like these leaves, but also throw in a few frames that work with the sentiments. Now, how fun is that? You can see it kind of notches there, and then dots the edges, which is a really fun look there as well. So I've got that, and then I'm going to take, like at the beginning of my video, that oxidized paper. I'm going to put this here and put this leaf on there, and then from the collection here, I'm pulling out the opposite side of the books. I know, if you know me, I love my books. So this one though has like the coppery embossed look on top of like a copper base. So I'm going to put that down and put a second leaf there and run these two through. Like I could just sit and emboss these leaves, like cut, not emboss, but like just cut leaves out all day long while watching movies or listening to my audiobooks, right? Okay, so let me pop this out here. And how pretty is that? I don't know if, hopefully you can catch the copper like embossing in there in a fun way. And then this leaf I'm gonna pop out, and it's just so pretty, you guys. Okay, so I've got that, and then the other piece that I just cut ahead of time is 2 inches by 1.75. And so that's just going to add a little bit of backing to my sentiment that I'm going to put on there at an angle. And I feel like that really shows now those little notches and dots. That's why I kind of wanted to back that a little bit, just so that it kind of highlights. If we're going to go through the work of embossing and using a special die like that, then we kind of like to back it and show how that comes together. So now I've got my plain piece of cardstock, and then I've got this pretty paper here, and now I've got, actually I'm going to put the smaller so you can see the difference. So I kind of had that on there just for some texture, and then I put this on, and then my leaves, okay? And I was happy. I'm just going to kind of put those on like that. Kind of happy with how that was coming together. Sorry if I was too far off camera as I was laying it down. So I'm going to hold this still for a second. But as much texture as it had, I felt like this part here on the sides was just a little too plain. And then I felt like, okay, if I'm going to add more texture, I should just either, you know, if you've got it, flaunt it, and I've got this. So I'm going to put that on there. And then I just love the look of having just a little bit more of the sweater showing there. Okay, so I'm going to take all this off and do some stamping along the edges here. So let me pull back over, since this is a photopolymer stamp set. I'm going to cover it with this. And if I was Tori, what Tori does, and she's watching, so I hope I can say that, she puts her paper around here and like tapes it so that, and covers this whole thing, so when she has messes like this, it's not going on here. These are washable, but I know after classes, some people like to put their adhesives on here. Please don't do that, because that sometimes doesn't wash off. And whenever I use adhesive, like that's what the desktop for is. This is just for stamping. So that's good to know. All right, so in that stamp set Autumn Leaves here, there's like a double leaf image, and I'm just going to ink that up kind of gently and just kind of put that down. And without re-inking, I'm just going to kind of go lightly like so. And it gives it kind of a fun texture. If you can see, some are more bold on the edges than that. That's because as I stamp it on, like this part didn't get stamped, so it's still got the ink. And then it just kind of gives it different textures here and there. So then I'm just going to ink that up, and then just go kind of on the edges, doing kind of that same look, knowing that this side's not going to see a lot, and then this side will. So I love just kind of that textury, warm feel that the difference of ink heavy and light gives that on the edges there. Okay, so that I can just set aside now and start building my card. And this part's going to go really fast because I've got everything going. And as much as I love this, this is almost like another gorgeous pattern that kind of coordinates with the leaf that I'm using too. So it's kind of fun to see that. If you don't like the side that I'm using, just know that there is like more pretty stuff to be on the other side. Like I would love all the sides of this. Okay, so I've got that then on there. So this is, like I said, 3 by 5.5. And if for some reason you end up cutting your cardstock wrong, you can always just go and trim that. So easy after you've taped it on or glued it on to adjust that. And now I'm going to take my 2 by 3 inch piece of that sweater, and I'm just going to kind of tip it so that the very tip here is just at the edge, and then it's going to kind of sit at an angle like that. And then for my sentiment, I'm going to grab some dimensionals and pop that up like so with my dimensionals here, and peel around like vent. I don't know if you call them vent marks, but when I cut these out, there are lines on the back here, if you can see those on each of these. But when I put my dimensionals on, the white doesn't show through. I wasn't so sure, you know, what that would do, because it's not like it's cutting a hole that's wide. It's just cutting like a slice in there. So that's good to know there. And so that can be put here and here like so. And that's just coming together so fun with that little shimmer shine that's there. Hi there, Barb. Thanks for joining in, and Sharon. All right. And so now you can see like what a difference that makes too, just having that to kind of just follow the theme of the leaves. And now for my embellishment are those speckled dots here. So we've got all these great colors that's going to coordinate with the collection, pinks, greens, and the kind of the ivory and the copper. So let me just take one of the larger coppers and put that up in the corner, and camera angle isn't going to show the little speckles in there, but it is. And then for the ivory, I'm going to take a large one and just put that down here, and one small one and put that down here in the corner. So we've got a couple different colors going. We've still got that odd number, and I feel like that just really captures that well. And so for my autumn card, autumn teaches us that change can be beautiful. Just a nice little friendship card that you can send out for any such occasion. So for the inside, I'm just going to drag over my copper clay ink pad again, and this, and just do like these leaves here in the corner like so. So I've got that going on there. And then I'll tip that over, add a little bit of adhesive here, and put that on my inside to coordinate. So this one, this stamp set, what I did do, because it's brand new, is I took, it's pretty solid. So what I did is just pretended like it was an eraser, and my ink, because that ink pad's pretty new, I feel like it's pretty juicy. So with photopolymer stamp sets and new stamp pads, sometimes you'll need to really make sure you do that, and just be really light on the ink, unless you want to actually dab off some of the ink, which is always, you know, the last resort too. But that's just kind of my tips as I work with them. I want to pass them along with you as well too. So here we have Deb King's card number 2 for her virtual party here. All right there. Hi, Lorna. Good to have you on. And hey there, Chris and Julie and Michelle. Thanks for joining in. Let me get this turned around. So hopefully, whoops. Oh no. Okay, I was going to say, now you see my card stock, but sometimes when I hit the wrong button, like just before I went live, I hit the wrong button, and then I couldn't get any of the buttons to work, and I had this like banner like taking over half my screen. So even though I'm used to doing these, sometimes things just happen out of my control. All right, so that is card number 2 for Deb King's virtual party. How you can get yesterday's card that I made with the cute bunny, today's fall card, and tomorrow's card, which will probably be Christmassy themed if what I have in my mind comes out together well for you guys. How you'll get those 3 cards is just a minimum $25 order using her special host code. We'll be transitioning into this mini catalog. So even though the things that I use today can't be ordered till September 6th, just know that Deb is holding open her party until the middle of September to give people plenty of time to either order from just the annual catalog and or the mini catalog that will be starting next week too. So minimum of $25 using the code gets you the 3 cards that I'm crafting. So I will see you tomorrow with card number 3. Until then, have a great night. Bye-bye.